Hey, ladies. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. I hope you had a great week. My week started off kind of rough, but your girl got some good news this morning. We'll see how it works out. I hold on a second. I was had that double issue there. Okay, so I got some good news this morning. One of my borrowers, because y'all know I'm in lending for real estate investors, wanted to proceed forward with her application. So, we will see how it goes. Answering a lot of questions, things like that. I'm also working on some other opportunities. So, yeah, doing well. Had an interesting week. I was telling my mother I'm looking forward to when my paycheck matches my hustle, my grind, where I was before, where I want to be, et cetera, et cetera. Please like the video as you are coming in. Tonight is all about answering your questions, whether it is money, relationships, from a financial point of view, preferably, or any other questions that you have. I have a couple of starter questions. I'm going to actually put the StreamYard link in the chat for everybody so that you are able to either put your questions in the chat or come up and actually chat with me. So, pin message. There we go. Hope you all had a great week as well. So, um, I'm going to start off with a couple of questions that I've gotten from the community thus far. And then as you ladies are trickling in, you can ask your questions, comment, et cetera, with regards to, again, money questions. You can ask me relationship questions. You can ask me, um, oh, the big news, the big gossip is apparently President Trump was charged with 34 counts. I mean, woo, my goodness, that's a lot of drama that's happening in the political world right now. All sorts of stuff is happening right now. So you can ask me if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. If I don't have an opinion on it, I'm not trying to be too controversial here, but we could be a little controversial. But yeah, I just thought we would have kind of an Ask Me Anything session. Hey, Becoming Bossy, I'm going to go through some of the previous questions and then I will answer that question. And again, ladies, if you want to come up and ask me a question, you're able to do that as well. So, the first question came from Sweet Lady 1916. So I put a post up a couple of weeks ago, and the original post said, last week there was an article in Business Insider. It said, quote, the age of growth is over and the age of revenue per employee is in. So, Sweet Lady 1916 asked me, how do I add more value as an employee? How do I brand myself as the go to person or attach numbers to my name in the office? And I thought this was a great question with so many layoffs that are happening, so many people that are tightening their belts, so many companies tightening their belts. What are ways that you can stand out? So, one of the things I learned early on from being in business is there are three major groups of individuals within a company, three major divisions. The first is your sales division. These are the people that bring the money into the company. So that's your marketing and your sales people. The second group are your production people. Like once a customer comes through the door in, the literal way or the electronic way, who actually serves that customer, the production. And then the third group of people are our back office people. So when you're looking at how do you maneuver, there's a great sports analogy. So I'm sure Mokomami is really going to like this when she comes in if she listens to the replay. Great sports analogy that I always use is companies are like football teams. There's offense, there's defense, and there's the coach. So, offense is the group of people that scores points. And what is scoring points? Scoring points is making revenues. Can you bring into the company a better lead generation system? A lead generation system that costs less per lead, or the quality of lead that you get increases exponentially? Can you bring in more sales? Like, I'm a salesperson, so my job is to bring in sales to the company. So that's the first group of people. If you're able to do that and quantify that, you're going to do well. The second group of people are our production people. Our production people actually either bring in more revenues or they're more efficient at the way that they serve customers. So, when you are looking at production, number one is, can you produce whatever it is you're producing for the clients more efficiently? You take less time to do it, you take less effort to do it, etc. Number two is, do your customers actually leave with such a smile on their face that they're giving 5-star reviews online or talking you up or referring a lot of people into the company because of the interactions with you? That's the way that you move the goalposts with production. And then the third group of people are our back office people. So that's your defense, right? Because I talked about the football team, right? You got the offense, the defense, and the coach. So offense um, puts, like, they score points, right? That's your salespeople, your people that are great with customer relations, etc. Your defense saves the company money, or they protect the company from lawsuits or things like that. So when we're looking at how we are able to brand ourselves within the company, pick a lane, pick something that you do really well, pick a project where you're visible in front of your boss's boss. You need to have those technical skills, like I'm always talking about, as well as those soft skills. And if you do one of the things that I've just suggested to you, either you put points on the board, meaning that you bring in more business during this recessionary period, or your defense, meaning that you protect the company from lawsuits, from the IRS coming in and garnishing the company, or whatever it is. If you're that defensive person, you can do well. You're able to attach yourself to the revenue per employee. So, um, ladies, natural hair, I see you in here, and Samri, I see you in here as well, as you all are putting your questions in. I've got 4 questions that people have asked me previously, and then I'm going to get to the questions in the chat here, and the StreamYard link is there as well. If you want to come up and ask a question, you can ask a question about jobs, about the economy, about relationships, about anything you have to ask this evening. Starting a business, growing a business, etc. This is an Ask Me Anything. Okay, the second question comes from Selfish Love. Hi, NEX. Selfish Love asked the question, what newspapers do I read on a daily basis? So, actually, on my desktop, I have a folder, and on that folder, I have a list of links that I go to every day that's already bookmarked. I won't tell you all of them that I go to because some of them are a little risque, um, meaning gossipy. But these are the main businessy economic ones that I go to. I go to Business Insider, and I actually paid for a subscription to Business Insider, which is why on my channel you see a lot of Business Insider articles. I go to Fox Business, CNN Business, because I want both sides of the politics aspects to it. I go to the Wall Street Journal, Yahoo Finance, and I really like Yahoo Finance Live on YouTube as well. So if I'm doing something that doesn't require a lot of brain power, I love to listen to Yahoo Finance Live on YouTube. I go to CNBC.com. Diamond Dave has recently got me into The Economist. And I go to ABC, NBC, and CBS News online just to see what they're talking about as well. I also get some really great information about business from LinkedIn. So I'll just go to my LinkedIn when I have, like, 20 minutes, and I'll scroll through, see what people are doing. And sometimes there'll be really great articles that people are reposting in LinkedIn as well. So, hey, Annie X. Hey, Rose. How you doing? Okay. So the next question that somebody asked me before was from Sean Stevens 1, and it actually has to do with a post that I did. So I want to show you a part of the post here. Okay. This was a post that I did a while ago, and I put this up. It's the 50, 40, 10 rule. And the whole idea is that you want to, with your income, put 50% of your income in needs, 40% into investments, and 10% into wants. And we've even heard some of the big influencers talk about that. Well, Sean Stevens one made a great comment to me with regards to this. She said, "This is impossible if you have children." And I want to say that it is not impossible if you have children, if you make enough money. If you make enough money. So let's say, for example, you have a full time business, you have a part time business, and you have your kids. And you have 50% of your life are your needs, like with your income. Let's just do the math and work our way backwards with regards to this. Now, one of the things I want to say with regards to this little bucket thing here is a phone is not a want. I don't know why they put a phone in the want section. So I'm sliding that over to the need because I need a phone. I need a phone for business, right? But if we're looking at how much money we're able to put into investments every year or savings, then we just need to work our way back with regards to the math. So let's say that it's going to cost you because you want your kids to be nepo babies and live really well. You're going to need $10,000 a month in order to, you know, take care of your kids, provide a roof over their head, transportation, get them tutoring, things like that. Well, that means you need to make $20,000 a month. Now, that is before taxes, but that can be done with the right type of strategic business as well as the right skills within your primary job. One of the people that I've been following lately is Tam over at Women in Linux. And there are people making $200,000 on a job. They have two to $300,000 freelance businesses that they're doing. So this is not impossible, ladies. Does it take effort? Yes. But what does it take even more than that? My famous four. It takes your soft skills, your technical skills. You need to have the right technical skills in order to be able to do this. Your networking, you have to have the right people. You have to have the right people actually wanting to hire you and hire you at an above average rate. And then you have to have the financial literacy and the resources to take that 40% and stock it away. So, one of the reasons why, when I decided on the job that I had, I wanted to be in sales is because I didn't want a ceiling on my income. And I've told you all before on this channel, some of you are new, my goal is 300,000 a year. I'm going to put 100,000 towards my living expenses because I like nice things. I'm going to put the second 100,000 towards paying off debt. I want all of my debt paid, including my primary home. And my third $100,000 is going into my investments. And that is totally doable if you have the right business slash skills for your job or again, your business. Yes, you are welcome, sweet lady. Sorry. Yes, you are welcome with regards to me answering your question. You're absolutely welcome. So then, selfish love. I know selfish love has a double here. She asked me another question. This is the final question, and then I will get to all of your questions here. Selfish Love asked me if I could talk about marketing my business with regards to the bookkeeping and the business plans. So, with regards to the bookkeeping, that was very much a trust-based marketing that I had to do. At the time, what I did was I joined the Chamber of Commerce and I joined BNI, Business Network International, which was a referral group. I went to everything that the chamber had, and I went to every single meeting of BNI. I networked with people. I did my one-on-ones with the BNI, basically just having coffee with somebody and talking. And we basically grew that company to mid six figures in a couple of years. It was very much a relationship based thing. We started getting CPAs who started sending business to us, and we just were very good at what we did with regards to doing the bookkeeping. Um, so yeah, that was the marketing that we did for that. With the business plans, what really worked for me well was doing YouTube videos and getting my LinkedIn together. People really found me at 3 o'clock in the morning when they were pulling their hair out. Oh, hey, selfish love, I'm answering your second question now. So people with the business plans would be pulling their hair out because at 3 o'clock in the morning because they wanted to get a loan for their business and they needed a great business plan and the templates weren't working for them. So people would come to me in order to write their business plans for them. Um, the marketing was really, again, the YouTube videos. What I would do is I would do how to write a business plan for, the salon industry, how to write a business plan for a tech product, how to write a business plan for, like, I had like 30 or 40 different industries that I did videos for, put those up on YouTube, and people would be Googling that or putting it in YouTube, and that's how they would find me. And then I also within LinkedIn had my LinkedIn filled out properly. That title just wrote business plan writer in there, and people would be searching business plan writer in LinkedIn. They'd find me, and boom, you know, that's how I did my marketing for business plan writing. One of the things that I will say with regards to these types of companies is that you want to kind of think about niching down as well. You either want to niche to a geographic area, or there are certain types of companies. Like, if I could do it all over again with the business plans, I might just niche down to writing SBA business plans for people who want to get funded. Or there are some people within bookkeeping. I knew a guy once who he only did the accounting for restaurants, and he had like six or seven ladies working underneath him. And that's all they did was the accounting for restaurants. There was another person I knew that only did accounting for real estate investors because she was really good at the depreciation and all the tax credits that they were able to get. There's another company that I was recently introduced to that their specialty as CPA is doing the employee retention credits, the ERC. So they can do general accounting services, but they really specialize in that. So think about a specialization as well, because that way you're able to charge a premium for your services. So also remember to sell people what they want and not what they need. People need a business plan in order to get their thoughts together, in order to start and grow their business. But they weren't going to pay me that. They weren't going to pay me for that. They paid me because they wanted to get a bank loan. Or they paid me because they wanted to pitch their $2 million idea in front of some investors. Hope that makes sense. So, ladies, people buy what they want and not what they need. So, hey, dark and lovely. Hello, hello. And becoming bossy is saying very smart. Okay, so now I'm going to start with your questions for this evening. Again, remember that the questions can be anything, can be economic related, can be relationship related. I'll answer those the best that I can. Preferably, it's relationship with regards to money. It can be, politics, anything like that. I am, you know, 95% willing to answer. So won't say 100%. Okay. Becoming Bossy is asking, how many bank accounts do you recommend for a person, not including business bank accounts, and at how many different banks? I would say a minimum of three banks. I would say a minimum of three banks, one larger bank, one credit union, and maybe one local smaller bank is what I would consider. And then yeah, So one bank account at each for like your personal. Yes, definitely. I also have, it's not necessarily a bank account, but I have a couple of apps as well that, money goes into every other week. Um, and I do my investing there, but that's also one of those apps, at one point was my emergency fund. I needed it away from me, but still like accessible. So I would have that money go into that app and it ended up being my emergency fund as well. So hope that helps. Becoming bossy is also asking what are great ways to save slash invest for retirement other than IRAs, 401ks, and 403bs. Um, it's very interesting. I was speaking with a woman earlier today about a wealth plan, and we were talking about building wealth through real estate specifically. And I think that you start off from like a macro level, kind of taking a step back and asking yourself, what are the things that I want within my wealth plan, right? Um, and I'm going to bring this back, becoming bossy, to saving for retirement. But you bring it back to, do I want cash? Do I want cash flow? Do I want appreciation? What are the things that I'm looking for within this wealth plan? How much time do I have to invest? Things like that. And then what types um, of investments do I want to get into? Do I want stocks? Do I want tax liens? Do I want real estate? What type of real estate do I want, etc.? In my opinion, that this thing here, this 50-40-10 rule is an aim with regards to having enough money for you to live on overall and still have the money to invest, right? So if we're making minimum wage or very close to it, it's very difficult to invest. So the first thing I think you invest in is yourself and your skills, your technical skills, your soft skills, like maximizing your income, your active income. Then you actually, in my opinion, have the money to play with in order to invest and save. Number two is building either a budget or getting very measured with how you're spending your money. When I had the most amount of savings, well, I won't say the most ever, but one of the times, I was doing something called the envelope method, where I remember it. It was the 15th and the 30th. I would go to the ATM and I would pull out $300 each day. And that would be my money for groceries, for gas. Gas at the time was like a dollar something, so it was back in the day. For, my hair getting done, things like that. And any money that I had in the envelope was like fair use, but I could not go back to the ATM. And then the money was like, that was in my account was for like paying bills and things like that. That is a great way to save. I think it's about having little hacks for you to use. Like I told you before, I had that app that I used that was just for my emergency fund. And I had, a bit of emergency fund money in there. So I hope I gave you some different ways of thinking about, you know, is it your emergency fund money? Are you going to put that money into real estate in order to save for retirement? If you are able to have, for example, 3 to 5 rentals and you have really good tenants in there and those properties are paid off, that can be as much of a savings, sorry, a retirement plan as anything else with regards to 401k and 403b. The final thing that I will say to you, becoming bossy, is check out self-directed IRAs, because with self-directed IRAs, you are able to, oh, I guess I should have put here not financial advice. Hold on. Yeah, let me change it to that one. But I will tell you, with self-directed IRAs, you are able to have your IRA money, but then be able to put that money into other types outside of just stock, you're able to put it into other types of investments that can get you a better yield as well. So I know I said a lot. I hope that all of that made sense. Hope that all of that made sense. Natural hair is in the building. What's your opinion on the BRICS nations trading their reserve currency from USD to won? With this changing world order, what do you believe Black women should do to stay afloat? Um, I think with regards to, I think that the US dollar will always be um, strong in some sense. I think that you have different nations that are realigning themselves. I was listening, or not listening, I read an article about how there's an African nation, now I think it's Burkina something, that has monuments now and murals, I should say, it's murals to Vladimir Putin. So, like, there's a lot of stuff happening in geopolitics right now. And, that's to be expected. What do we do as Black women to stay afloat? I think we focus on making as much money as possible, being as agile as possible. When we did our wealth report a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the different places you can go to and get a second passport. Um, but I will say this, of all of the countries in the world, the United States of America is still, in my opinion, the very best country out there for us to live and to be in. So I'm just focused on, like, you know, getting my resources up, keeping my skills up, and getting my networks together, in case you need to make a break for it. um, Samri is saying, what are the best ways to maneuver to work on important projects in your team slash org? I love this as a question. I think we don't ask enough. I think we don't ask enough. So, what I would do, Samri, is to talk with a couple of people in your company. Ask them, hey, what are some? So first of all, let's take a step back. Most companies publicly will put out, like, the things that they're working on over the next 1 to 3 to 5 years. Figuring out what those things are, figuring out who's responsible for making those things happen. Is your boss's boss? Is it your boss? Is it, some other group within your organization? Going to them, just talk to them. Hey, I'm curious. I want to find out how I can assist with the job that I have now with helping you actually achieve whatever it is you are looking to achieve. And then, just asking them, do you need help? Maybe I can give you a couple of hours a week outside of my current position that I'm doing, like extra hours. And, you're not charging them anything if you work hourly or anything like that. But that's a great way. It's always best for you to increase your skills at the job you're currently at. So, hope that answered your question. What are the questions to ask during interviews to ensure I get what I want? Ooh, well, that's a Mentor Shelley. That's a Mentor Shelley question, but I think you have to know what you want overall, and you want to ask the company um, what they're looking for and what are they looking for from you within 30 days of you joining the organization, 60 days, 90 days, and a year? And then you tie that into what you want and how you're able to help them get there. Um, I hope that that's a good answer for you. Because I'm thinking interviews, yeah, I mean, you're always tying it into what they are looking for, and also thinking about the skills that you want to get from that company and figuring out what they want to do. You always go in to any company with the skills that I currently have because that's what they're hiring you for. But you are also thinking about, hey, once I get up to speed, can I work on this project as well? Because I think I would be of benefit to your company with regards to this. And see what they say. See what they say. Let's see here. Rose has a question. Would you buy gold or silver? And if yes, how do you buy actual gold and silver? Everyone talks about buying them in stocks, and I don't want to do that. Rose, I have to admit, I have never bought gold or silver. I've never really thought about it. I mean, that's not true. I've thought about it, but it's just never been something I've really wanted to do. I know that there are some places you can actually buy physical gold, like the little nugget things, um, but I don't know how. I have to be honest. So that's my answer to would I buy it? Not necessarily. But for you, that's like based on your portfolio and your wealth plan and what you're looking to achieve, you know? And I think that people typically say to buy it in stocks just because it's easier to purchase and it's easier to liquidate buying it in the stocks themselves. So, how do I begin to start as a grant writer and a ghostwriter? Ooh, okay, so you're right up my alley. With regards to being a grant writer, I think it really is about either starting with someone you know and offering to write their grant for them. And, you can offer to do it for free. You can offer to do it for a couple of $100 just so that they have some skin in the game. You really want to win a win in your column. So starting off with the right person, the right organization that you're writing that grant for, that's most likely to win that grant. So that way, when other people ask you, hey, have you ever won a grant for somebody you've written for? You can say yes. So being very strategic with who you choose to write your first grant for and doing it for, a lower price. Um, you also need to be very attentive to detail with regards to, like, I personally, you see this big hunk of printer here. When I was a business plan writer, I've written a couple of grants as well. I would print out the 30, 40, 50 pages, double sided, and I would actually sit at my desk and read and highlight because I would see things when things are in writing that I wouldn't see on the screen. So, that's how I think you begin as a grant writer. And then, in order to get more opportunities, there are different grants that are out there, different types of grants that are out there. You want to figure out, because I know you said you wanted to be paid as well. So you want to figure out what types of grants you want to write and for what types of organizations. There are some grants that are, for example, for affordable housing development, right? So you'll be working with housing developers in order to help them get these grants from the cities and the counties and the states, right? There are some grants and some grant writers that focus on nonprofits. Just because they're nonprofits don't mean they don't have any money, but you want to find those nonprofits that are big enough and that have enough of a track record for you to actually get in and work with them. And some of the nonprofits, if they're too big, they already have grant writers, in house. So, but there are a lot of different grants that are out there. So I think you want to find a specialization, and I think you need a good test case that you can see that they have uh, um, a background and they're already successful as an organization, so that writing that grant for them is really kind of a layup. Hope that helps. With regards to ghostwriting, I think again, it's about picking who has the money to be able to pay you. With ghostwriting, if you're also able to find an industry or a niche where you can get steady, one person to pay you like every month for ghostwriting, you may be writing ghostwriting articles for them, Or I told you a while ago, there's some videos on the channel about people who ghostwrite tweets, or they take tweets and they ghostwrite LinkedIn articles for people, etc. If you're able to do that, then you can get 5 or 6 clients and do very well as a ghostwriter. You could even do it full time as a ghostwriter. So I hope that helps. That's how I would begin. I begin with the who has money and what can I specialize in. And let's see what else you have here. Rose is asking, how do you go about investing in tax liens and treasury bonds? So I would have to bring someone to the channel for that. Victoria over at the Credit Solutionist actually is invested in tax liens. There are a couple of other people I know who are invested in tax liens and tax deeds. It does depend on the state that you want to invest in. So that's like one of the first things you choose is what state you want to invest in. And, do you want the house or do you just want the percentage of interest and all of that stuff? I took Erica Williams' course, which I liked, but I never did anything with it. So, that's just, I just have been doing so much that I just haven't had a chance to do anything with that. But there are people who know a lot more about that than I do. So at some point, I'll bring someone to the channel who knows more about tax liens than I do. With regard to treasury bonds, there are websites that you can go to in order to purchase treasury bonds. There's something called an I bond as well that I had heard about recently. That's some people are saying it's even better than a treasury bond. Um, I think it's the I bonds that, yeah, that are attractive. I'm gonna put into the chat here, there is something from NerdWallet here on how to buy I bonds. So you should be able to go and look that up. I haven't bought T bonds before, I bonds or anything like that. But you know, and there when this is done, when we're done with this, I have to see if they privated the video or not. If they didn't private the video, I'll put it into the comment section. There was a really good instructional video that I was a part of the panel for, and this guy talked about the different types of government bonds that you can buy and which ones are the best. So there are people who know more about that than I do. So. You're saying, "Yes, I'm doing the envelope method this year too." Look, I need to get back on the envelope method, definitely. Constance is saying, "This is tax season. I'm getting my tax return in savings bonds. Do you think that's a good idea? Just trying to diversify my assets." So I'm not a financial advisor. I think, Mocha Mommy actually talks a lot about the savings bonds, and she says it's been really great for her. So I do think it's important to diversify. And one of the great things about the savings bonds is it's backed up by the government. So I think it's, probably a great, at least stable asset. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, so you may want to talk to your financial advisor about that. Yes, Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is the African country that had the mural of Vladimir Putin there. Like, geopolitics is crazy right now. Selfish Love is saying, Constant, that's good that you are thinking about that. I plan on looking to savings bonds as well. Yeah. And there are different types of government treasury bonds that you all may want to look at. And I'll try to find a really good financial advisor who knows about the different types of treasury bonds that are out there because some of them have really great yields. So Rose is saying, absolutely, America's the best. I don't care what no one says. Look, you cannot pry the blue passport out of my hand. I don't care what anybody says. Sam is saying, perfect. Thanks for the answers. Good. I'm glad that helped. Selfish Love is saying, also network with other people in other parts of the organization. Absolutely. J. Antoinette is in the building. The I series, yeah, it's called an I bond. So, Jay Antoinette, I put it into the chat if you wanted to check out that article. I've heard, good things about it. Obviously, talk to your financial advisor and do your own research. Okay, Selfish Love is asking, can you make a BWMM email? I actually already have one. It is bwmakingmoney@gmail.com. bwmakingmoney@gmail.com is the email address. So you are able to email me. So we've been on here 40 minutes. We'll see if there are any other questions you all have for me. If not, then there are a couple of hot topics we can talk about. We can be a little messy because I have my folder of hot topics as well. Let's see what you all say. Okay, so did you all see that Passport Bros has now been trademarked? I think this is an interesting lesson in intellectual property because several months ago, um, if you all are familiar with the pro-Black space, Michi X had trademarked things that Dr. Boyce, had as intellectual property, but she trademarked it. And the fact that she did that, um, I don't know, it caused like him to not be able to use certain pieces of intellectual property that he had been using forever. I think that anytime we're trademarking things, anytime we are doing intellectual property things, that we really need to get our resources together and actually get our trademarks in, our copyrights, etc. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen here with you really quickly. And apparently, this is on Trademarkia, but I'm sure if I went to the trademark organization, they would say it as well. Passport Bros is now trademarked by Robert Damon Bowers for production of podcasts and providing ratings and reviews of podcast content. So, one of the things that happens within trademarks, I have a couple of trademarks, is that you will say, I want a trademark, but I want it to be within a certain category of, clothing, for example, like um, what's her name? Lizzo was able to successfully get the trademark for 100% That Bitch. And she got the trademark in like clothing and things like that. You could do it for software. You could do it for all sorts of things. There are like different categories where you're able to get the trademark information. So you're able to get the trademark. So, ladies, if you are using if you've created any kind of intellectual property, then you want to trademark it. If you want to be spiteful like Michi X, you can trademark stuff as well. So yeah. Uh, so let's see. You all wrote something else here. Let's see. Rose is saying stupid Jonathan Majors and pearly things. I won't say the other two words. What do you want to know about about it? I mean, the Jonathan Majors thing, it's like bad move, um, very bad move, you know? And the pearly things, I said my piece on, I think it was Monday or Wednesday. I talked about that. I think that it proves that we need to, as individual Black women, we need to have individual alliances with people. And I also said that it's not a good look for the Black manosphere. It's not a good look at all. So, and with that, I think we need to up our skills. I was actually on Fine Womanhood's channel. Let me take a step back here. I was on Fine Womanhood's channel, and I think the day before, I caught somebody else's broadcast about the pearl thing, and they showed um, King Riches, who is some guy on Pearl's channel. And I had never heard of him before, but somebody had showed a snippet of what he said. And he basically said, Pearl pays me good money. If I don't work here, where am I going to go? I'm not going to be able to go anywhere else to work. And I said, this is a resource issue. This is a resource issue. This is that we don't have the right skills and the right networks in order to make a move, in order to get out of a hostile environment. I'll put that in quotes for her, a hostile environment. This is why I push so much that it is important for you as individual women to get your technical skills up, your soft skills, your networks, and your resources. Because if we're looking at situations like that, there are people who are sticking with her because they don't have the ability to make a move. And you never want to be in that situation. I think if there's anything that we as upwardly mobile Black women can learn, it's to never be in a situation we can't get out of, to never be underneath somebody's thumb that we can't get out of, that we can't get from under. So, yeah. Um, Selfish Love is said, I just seen PPP get arrested in Brazil. I think Samantha Cooker was talking about that earlier today. She was mentioning something about some other guy getting arrested in Brazil. So I don't know. Like, I have nothing to do with me. Rose is saying, all these beautiful, gorgeous Black sisters out here, and he ain't saying nothing. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Um, Jantoinette is saying, okay, so it has to be a specific category. Can you trademark a name, artist name? Yes, you can. Think about Blue Ivy. Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter, they wanted to trademark her name, and somebody else already had the trademark for that category. Kim Kardashian has her kids, I think she has her kids' names trademarked, but one of the things that came out was Rob Kardashian only has one child. That's the only child that carries the Kardashian name, and that's Black China's child, if you all remember. And Black China wanted to trademark her child's name, and Kim and probably the mama got to that first. So you can absolutely trademark a name, like a person's name. Now, if that artist is already popular, if I try to trademark Michael Jackson is a little too common, but I don't know, some artist's name out there that's already popular, it'll probably get bounced back. But if you're the artist, yeah, you can trademark a name. Yes, you can. You were saying you were just shading. I didn't have to talk about them. Well, I said my piece about them because I do think that that's important about the resources. Always have resources so you can get yourself out of a situation. So, you're asking, is intellectual property basically anything that's unique that you say or your community says? Um, it could be the name of your brand, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Those are trademarked. That's intellectual property. Kleenex is intellectual property. That's trademarked. It could be something that you say or that you always said. It could be um, what do you call it? A saying that you have that you want to put on t-shirts and caps and things like that that can be trademarked. It could be the name of like a software or things like that. So, yeah, intellectual property is anything that you can build a brand on, or intellectual property can also be like a song. So, with a song, you copyright it, or a poem. I think Maya Angelou's poems are copywritten. I definitely know that the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King is copyrighted. It's copyrighted. If anybody wants to use the I Have a Dream speech in a movie or anything like that, they have to pay the King children for that. And that was done when MLK was alive. He actually, in my opinion, was a smart businessman for doing that. A lot of people don't know that I Have a Dream speech is copywritten. So Rose is saying individual alliances. Look, that's how I'm living. My mother and brother were never into pro blackish and they are both very successful. Yeah, look, it's individuals around here. Um, Remember Samurai Bliss, you interviewed them. They are not interviewing you. Enter every interview as the interviewer. I like that. Be sure to be that person who sends meeting notes with clear action items. Very true. And send them to everyone on the call and CC your manager. Very true. Also make time to have a meeting with your boss's boss every quarter. Yet look, you got to be seen. They have to like you. I told you all the story of my boss's boss years ago. I worked for this company. It was the last company I worked for, like as a W 2. And they were about to lay people off, and my name was nowhere on the list. But that was because I knew all the C suite. They knew me. I went in, I showed them, the work that I was doing. I had a reason to be there, showing them the work that I was doing, and the stuff I was doing was just way too valuable. You want to be that girl. That's why I chose being educated in a marketable profession and am enjoying every minute of it. Yeah, I'm going to make that money. Kylie Jenner tried to trademark Kylie, but Kylie McNoll already had it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, you can trademark a name. Dream Kardashian is trademarked in the Kardashians, that mama. Look, if we want a class in business, a business master class, that Mama Kardashian is the woman. Crystal is saying, I'm late, so I'll be a part of the replay gang. Thank you so much. Yes. Black women always try to ensure you build skills so you can take roles that keep you available to WFH. What is WFH? I don't know what that means. The big money for the I Have a Dream speech. They big money for the I Have a Dream speech. Yes, they are. Very smart business people. MLK is an enterprise. It is an absolute, and that single man is like the one of the biggest financial legacies. I don't think I've ever heard the MLK kids having money issues. I don't think so. They got the foundation. They look, I don't think I know they beef amongst each other, but I don't think they have money issues. So, hey Victoria, yeah, a guy in the credit space trademark got credit. Oh, he did. Look, y'all be if you were thinking about building a business and building a brand, definitely get your stuff trademarked. Um, they pay big money for the I Have a Dream speech. Yes, they do. The happy birthday song used to be trademarked. They I think the trademark ran out or used to be copywritten. I think it used to be copywritten, and the copywriting ran out. I remember because Wendy Williams was talking about about it. But yes, the happy birthday song was copywritten. Yes, it was. Black women always be seen going to the office and look cute and say hi. This is another thing. This is a great point here. If you have a job that lets you work remote and work in the office, they give you a choice. Go into the office at least 2 times a week. Be seen. Be seen as much as possible. Rose is saying, damn, I need to write my own speech. You should. You got to make it popular, though. Um, you're saying C suite do like Black women. Yeah, they do. I've never had a problem with anybody in the C suite. They know the work ethic, they know we produce. Anyone else giving you problems and harassment at your job, stay away from them, ignore them. Always focus on the work. Yep. Focus on the work, focus on the connections. Focus on the work, focus on the connections. You need both. You need both. Work from home, and yes, I can definitely attest that WFH, oh, that must be work from home, is great. Yeah, it is. You just got to stay visible. And we had talked before, ladies, as well, about looking cute in the morning. So that way, if you need to get on your Zoom really quickly, you can. All I do is throw some eyeliner on, a little bit of concealer down here, eyeliner every morning, and I'll have my little brown lipstick or something right here on my desk. So if I need to hop on a Zoom really quickly, your girl is ready to go. So, yeah. Um, how your daddy united a country, but y'all fighting. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, selfish love? I don't know what that means. um, Black women need to always be seen, always also being pretty matters. Very true. Every time you're in the office, you need to have lunch with somebody. Very, very true. Talking about being pretty, I have lost some weight recently and my clothes are baggy. And yesterday I went to a networking event and I like never really take pictures. So um, one of the other people that invited me asked me to take a picture. So I did. And I looked at the picture and I was like horrified. I'm like, is that what my jeans look like? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to like get a couple of pairs of tighter jeans because they were so baggy that they looked a little sloppy. I was embarrassed. I really was. I ran out of the house. I'm like, oh no, Cherie's got to tighten it up. How to tighten it up. So even your girl is vulnerable now saying, whew, um, yeah, keep yourself cute. Definitely keep yourself cute. You do not necessarily need to go to lunch. I think you need to have some sort of um a networking, whether it's lunch or happy hour or something. When I was in my early 20s, nobody really told me that until one of my bosses pulled me to the side and was like, "You're not playing the game right." You do want to go to happy hour or lunch or something because people get to know you in those social settings. And then when they get to know you in those social settings, you have a better chance of moving up professionally. So, if there's anything I can suggest to a young lady, it is look cute, um, do like get your technical skill, get your skills down, and like cultivate those networks. If they invite you to happy hour and you don't have kids, go to happy hour. Go to happy hour. Yes, wake up and make up. Absolutely. So, Mokamami's asking, what do you think of image, and likeness contracts? What should parents look out for? Erica Williams did a show a while ago on NIL contracts. And one of the things she said was that these companies would offer these young um, athletes these NIL contracts, and they would fix the athletes up. They would give them speaking coaches. They would get them speaking engagements that would pay them $25,000 per speaking engagement, but then they owned their name, image, and likeness, their NIL, in perpetuity. And I wrote in the chat after hearing that, I would never allow my kid to sign that type of contract. And a man, there was a man, said, "You're crazy. Why would you never allow your kid to sign a contract like that when they can get $25,000 for a speaking fee? And I said, because Erica said that at that point they would own my child's name, image, and likeness in perpetuity. Now, I don't know much about these NIL contracts. I haven't done any research on them, but I think that they need to be vetted by a very experienced lawyer who's a shark, who's going to protect these kids because these young people had just gotten to a point where they're able to make money while they're in college. And now people are going to strip out what they're able to do in their adulthood, potentially. Now, this is what Erica said. I have no reason to believe that she doesn't know what she's talking about. I have not independently checked this out, but I would look at the life of my child within that contract and make sure that it's not like some of these music deals that people are getting into, like a Prince, for example, where they attach themselves to you like a succubus. Hope that makes sense, Mokomami. But you and your husband, you all have, I'm sure, access to really good lawyers. I'd have somebody go through that with a fine tooth comb before they signed any of it. Um, so you're saying here also mascara, eyeliner, a little concealer, and a good lip. Black women always do a good lip. Look, I just do the basics. Yes, being darker brown or complected really helps with Zoom, less effort. I agree with that. And have a little bit of light, and you're good to go. I'm talking about MLK kids fighting. Oh, okay. They're 2 on 2. They have issues, but I've never heard of them being broke. Thank you. You're saying I look great. Thank you so much. Um, it is good to go into the office and say hi and good morning, people, and smile. People already know who you are. It is good to go in and let people see you. We make the day better. Yes, we do. Our presence always makes the office better. Let's see here. Also go to happy hour, but if you don't drink, and I don't drink anymore either, do not feel pressure to drink. Absolutely. I get a ginger ale or a Sprite and I call it a day. Everyone understands that a lot of young women do not feel comfortable drinking alcohol. Yeah, absolutely. Or you can even get a virgin, you know, drink, virgin pina colada, whatever. Never allow anyone to own your name, image, and likeness. What in the world? Yeah, look, I like I said, I only heard that one stream with Erica saying that, and when she said that, I was like, I would never sign that. Oof. Lunch and being pretty has gotten me very far and into a lot of rooms. Amen. Club soda is a drink. Yes, it is. Let's see here. I've never been pressured to drink alcohol. In fact, it is never even offered unless I ask. I am only offered food and non-alcohol. Yeah, I think once people know who you are, they're going to offer you what they think, what they know you will have. Yeah. Um, the music industry is a very corrupt industry and that I don't even think is worth it. It's very exploitative. Yes, it is. It is. And my concern is these NIL contracts are going to be the music industry's version of that in the sports industry for these college kids. Oh, you all shifted here. Hold on. Succubus is a discussion we need to have involving Black women. This is a big problem. The level of people who will force themselves on you at work, at your residence, your life. I'm sure you mean that metaphorically, AAE. I'm hoping that you mean that metaphorically. Yeah, so this is where we talk about having boundaries. And I wanted to do a session on being selfish. I need to cancel it on Sunday because I have a mastermind coming up around the same time on Sunday. But This is about having boundaries. This is where when Cynthia says having standards, boundaries, and expectations, that is not just for men. That is not just for men you're romantically involved with. That is for everybody. I have a standard of living. I have a standard of when you ask me to go to lunch, even as a friend, we are not going to McDonald's. Like, I don't do that, right? I have the expectation that you will treat me with common courtesy, all of those things. So if people are forcing themselves on you, oftentimes it is because you are radiating something or emitting something out in the universe that lets those people know that they can do that to you. Because if you've ever met certain people, like, you know not to try it with that person. Everybody else knows not to try it with that person either. They may be nice and courteous and whatever, but it's like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to take advantage of her. And that's what we need to be. Uh, Tonic water with a lime in it. Yeah, classic drink. uh, you should also do this on dates as well. I agree. I wouldn't drink on dates. Some kids are only getting equipment, sports gear in exchange for NIL. Some are getting their social media accounts taken over. I've heard that as well, Mokomami. You made a good point. Yeah, I actually thinking about it. I think that Erica mentioned that as well. They take over the social media accounts. I'm like, and never give them back. What? What are you talking? Next thing you know, they're gonna be trademarking their names, and mm-mm, mm-mm. You better like I would have the nastiest, sharkiest lawyer that costs $425 an hour looking that thing and shredding that thing apart. Very true. And when you don't want to associate with them, they go on a smear campaign or even want to fight you. Yeah, some people do. I feel like your coworkers would respect you more if you have boundaries with anything. They will. They will. And you'll get more of what you want as well. You'll get more of the projects that you want. It's okay to say no to certain projects, to say no to the projects that aren't going to get you anywhere in your career in exchange for going for the projects that are going to elevate you, are going to give you the next level of skills, etc. It's okay to be I'll use the term aggressive right now with getting into the rooms that you want to get into and on the projects that you want to get on, etc. You know, why are we settling for mediocre? We are the upwardly mobile Black woman. We are great and we are positioning ourselves as such. Everybody, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. Absolutely, boundaries force respect even if they don't like you. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Okay, ladies. Well, it is over an hour since we've been here. I hope that I've answered all of your questions pretty well. I will look for some individuals who really know about the bonds, the T bonds and the I bonds and things like that, to come on the channel and speak with you tomorrow. If you want to make it rain either in your job or in your business, I have the best guest. This is the guest that I was going to bring on when we reached 1,000 um, subscribers. And because we reached 1,000 subscribers, I reached out to her. Her name is Precious Williams. She's been on Shark Tank. She has won a whole bunch of money for her business on Shark Tank, as well as on doing pitches and things like that. And she's going to come in and talk about being a rainmaker. A rainmaker really, like, a rainmaker actually making it rain wasn't our concept. Is actually from a sales book that a guy wrote in the early 2000s named Jeffrey Fox. Being a rainmaker is somebody who actually can attract a lot of contracts and opportunities and sales to a business. So tomorrow we are going to make it rain at 5:15 p.m. My friend Precious is coming on in order to talk with us, whether you want that high paying job or you want a business. We are going to make it rain. The rainmaker is a revenue producer. Yes, absolutely. And when you can make it rain, you can write your own ticket anywhere. You can make $300,000, $500,000. I met one woman, a Black woman, who makes $1 million a year in sales. Like that's her, her job, right? There are some of us that are doing very well with our businesses. We can make it rain. So, with that, that's coming tomorrow, ladies, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Like the video on your way out. Take care.